Hey everybody, it's Mike Sullivan with Born to Shine. Today we have an awesome guest. His name is Jose Gonzalez, and he is the 21st Century Learning Specialist at Compton Unified School District in Compton, California. Jose, thanks so much, man, for making some time for us today.
No, thank you so much, Mike. I really appreciate it. Anytime to share the stories about my kids, that is one of our students.
Yeah, I love it, love it. And the first question is, what was your journey like? Because you've been in the school system for over 20 years, you've had tons of experience, and you have a lot of people looking up to you. What was your journey like to get to that position?
Well, I was born in Havana, Cuba, and so I'm the first of my family here that actually went to college. And it was also felt like a burden at time, trying to make that journey. My journey, I went and I started late into the education. And I think a transformation for me happened when I started as a Spanish teacher, but I always built computers. And we had a program that came to our school. We were part of a Verizon Innovative Schools program.
Hmm.
And for me, that really changed my life. I used to teach tech teams, and part of the goal was just having kids learn about troubleshooting and what have you. But the direction I learned is giving student voices, and my whole concepts of teaching change with that. I became more of a facilitator instead of a teacher, and project-based learning became central in the way to teach and giving my students a voice and a choice in the education process. And now my students are using technology to make changes in the community. Last year, they were recognized because they built a homeless center to help with the
Hmm.
homeless community. So that's kind of been my goal, is to allow kids to give them a place where they can develop ideas and hopefully to change our world. I feel uh, us old people didn't do such a good job, and I'm really trusting in the future of our kids that they're gonna learn about sustainability with renewable energy, and they have a chance to make change in our world.
That's awesome. Such a cool way to be the leader of that, to encourage them and give them a voice, like you said, and to spark their imagination and creativity, right? Because they're creating like the Center for the Homeless, and they're creating sustainable or using sustainable energy. So that's incredible. I mean, Einstein even said one of the truest measurements of intelligence is imagination, and they're
Yes,
using their imagination. So that's cool that you're encouraging that and leading them with that. So that's awesome.
thank you.
And when you were K through 12 kiddo or middle school, since you're guiding these middle school students, was there anything that you struggled with when you were in middle school?
Yes, I grew up in a family where didn't really receive encouragement and recognition. So for me, self-esteem has always been an issue that I struggled with. And later in life, I found out I had ADD. And so it kind of made sense why I couldn't keep focus on such things. And so I can relate with many of the struggles of my students. And I was like, my way of seeing them is just like flowers that grow through concrete. They're resilient and they grow. And I I wouldn't want to have my students go through some of the ordeals that I did, and struggling with self-acceptance. Thank God I've been able to find support groups and people who are like-minded to get that support. And I want to encourage those with my students. And that's why it's very important for them to learn to find their voice, and that they have ideas that are important.
Yeah, I love that. That's well, and you have a brother here, Jose, with ADD. I struggled with it most of my life, and still do. Tied in with some OCD and ADD and A through Z, basically.
Right.
It's great that you have compassion and you're extending a lot of grace, and it sounds like a ton of support because you've been through it. So if you see students that are exhibiting any kind of struggle, you know, you have a big heart, and that just shows, you know. And I'm sure they feel seen and valued and heard and encouraged. And it's amazing how God uses our pain, right, and turns it into our purpose.
Yes, yes. I'm not sure where I heard this quote from, but that the fruits don't grow on the mountaintops, but in the valleys.
Yeah.
And I think that I used to not, I didn't like those experiences, the painful experiences in the past, but now I recognize them as stepping stones and learning opportunities to give me the wisdom and experience to where I am now that I can share with my students.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So if you're a student watching this, or if you're a parent or a teacher or even an admin, you know, we're all people. We're not impervious to struggle, and when we do, I'm with you. It's not fun. It's hard. It's challenging. We just want to get out of the painful situation we're in, but um, that's where the fruit grows. That's where we develop the character that enables, like your students, to grow through concrete. I love that metaphor that they have the drive and the resiliency to to shine, like, you know, shine their light, let the world see, and they're breaking through concrete. That's such a cool way. No one's ever said that before, so I really like how you said that. Um,
Thank you.
and thank you for sharing that. And you know, do you see anything that's working well with your students and their mental health? And then maybe some things that you see, ooh, there's a gap here, and we'd love to have, you know, maybe some more of this or that in the following school year.
I think the things that I think one is I'm very open with my students. They've seen me cry, get emotional, and I want them to have them see that it's okay, that we're human beings, that especially guys, right? Guys, that guys have emotions, they can share them in it, and that there's strength in displaying your emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what's worked for me is that students have an environment that's safe, that not only are they learning technology, but they're learning about presenting and articulating what they know, and that what they have to say is important. And so we get a lot of interviews. Our kids have been all over the media, many different type of media, and they've been even a couple of national commercials with Verizon. And so I try to prepare them, and I figure a place that's safe, that they can hear feedback. And I think that's what's working. In our school, we have, of course, we have a mental health center here at our school that we provide. We have counseling. I think we need to see more of that. I think we need to show kids that it's okay to share their, it's okay to be afraid. It's okay not to know. I've created a classroom where it's okay to fail, and that in failure is where we learn our greatest lessons.
I have nothing to say. That was amazing. I love that. I wish I had you as a teacher when I was a kid, because oftentimes there's that stereotype of we're men, we need to be strong and not show emotions, but that's just repression. We're pushing and stuffing all that pain down, and eventually it's going to come out. So that's
Yeah.
awesome that you're creating a safe space for your students to really open up and to support each other. And then, wow, what a cool thing with Verizon that your students are getting recognized nationally. So as far as their self-esteem and their self-worth and knowing that they matter, that's got to be helping a lot. Like the environment that you're creating for them, you know, so they do know that they matter, that they have value, that they're important. So that's awesome. And you know, the last thing would be whatever is on your heart, Mr. Gonzalez. Like whatever you want to share. If someone watching this is an admin or a teacher or a middle school student, what would you share with them?
I think just I think there's been a lot of emphasis on testing and what have you, and I strongly feel that project-based learning, bringing real world issues into the classroom, where students have an opportunity to show that they have opinions and that they can actually change our world. I have grandkids, and I have I have a granddaughter who's 14, same age of the kids that I teach, and half of my captains are half of the team is girls, so I really want to encourage my girls also in STEM. But I saw a show by David Attenborough's Planet Earth, and he really laid out how much the world's changing
Mm.
and that we need to be good stewards. And that really changed my focus on what I want my kids to learn: technology and how to use it, prepare themselves for the 21st century, but also how to be good stewards.
Yep, love it. Mr. Gonzalez, thank you so much, man, for Oh, before we go, can we flip the camera like you showed before and
Oh, sure,
see some of
sure,
the projects that
sure,
your
sure.
kids are working on?
Yeah, so here's a place here where my students, they worked on a Mars project. Actually, they won in part of a world competition, and now they extended, they want to grow food, not just on Mars, but in their community. So here is our aquaponics. We're going to start getting fish on Monday, today actually, and we're going to be also growing food vertically. One of my girls did to grow food in tight places. And my sixth grade team wanted to expand that idea, and they created a truck model. They converted a diesel truck model into an electric powered truck, and they would have an aquaponic system in the back
Love it.
to grow food anywhere around the world. And then
Amazing.
a classroom were built out of sustainable material that would use renewable energy.
Mr. Gonzalez, thank you so much, sir. Thank you for sharing your insight, your leadership, and your heart. How you're really raising these kids to not only believe in themselves, but to work together as a team with, like you're saying, real life applications that are going to be used in the future, and they're creating the future. So, thanks for sharing your time and your heart with us today.
Thank you so much, Mike. I really appreciate you inviting me, and we have so many same goals. So thank you.
Absolutely.